it gonna be trippy, like being gone during the holidays?
My mom is so
Yeah,
mad at me, dude.
come to think of it, it's gonna be
gosh.
kind of odd.
I mean, I think it'll be fun because, like, in a way, like, these dudes are my family. Like, that's... Oh, I love you guys.
Sorry, it's just people are complaining.
Too bad!
You know, they want to know if you guys can maybe try tuning up again or
No!
play on the beat and just do it right.
No!
All right.
Let's stop fooling around and turn this band into a lean, mean, mom jeans revenge machine! Yeah! Mom jeans!
What do you want me to say? It's never going away, 'cause I'm stuck on you like the smell of cigarettes on your flower dress. I want you under my fingernails, I want you in my sleep, in my dreams. I wake up spooning my pillow, sweaty hands, but please don't tell
You thought the show was where we just met? We might have got the very little bit.
Now I'm addicted to
I was just kind of scratching my head. Like, you guys seem so normal with it. I was just confused.
Well, thanks for meeting me out here. What neighborhood are we in? Do you have any idea?
I have absolutely no idea. I think we're 6 blocks away from downtown Phoenix, and that's about all I know.
Japanese Garden Park. It's,
Japanese
nice.
Garden Park. I
Got
think
some
that's where
birds
we
and,
are.
You know.
Well, we
people
climbed
hanging
the
out.
fence and jumped in too, so that makes it seem like we're more like rebellious.
I know,
It
right?
does, yeah, dude. We're punk rock.
We're kind of caged in here.
We are a little caged
Yeah.
in. If someone rolls up and they're mad, we can't get away very easily.
No.
Yeah, dude. Kind of like a generator show. Yeah. You can't just dip.
Well, let's begin with like everybody introducing themselves because we have like a group here.
Let's do it. Cool. I'm Gabe. Gabriel Paganin. I play the bass for Mom Jeans and started the tour. We'll see how it goes. It's gonna be good. I hope.
My name's Austin, and I play drums.
My name's Eric, and I play guitar and I sing.
I know it's cheesy, but it's good.
Yeah.
Now everybody just
Funny.
knows who's here.
Yeah, now we got the ice broken.
You guys came. Redlands is north of LA.
It's east of LA.
Yeah,
it's
maybe
like southeast, I think, right?
I think just
Or maybe
east.
just east. Yeah, I think it's just east in general of LA.
Did you hit those border? I don't know what they are. They're like checkpoints.
No, we didn't hit one of those, but we did see a border patrol dude today driving, and he like had a van pulled over.
Do you know
Huh.
you guys are from California?
Yeah.
Like, can you explain to me what are they looking for there?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I know like friends' bands have had difficulties, like if they're like playing in like El Paso, Texas, or like New Mexico, anywhere like really, really close to the border.
I might have
Stuff like
fucked
that.
up and we might have started recording here. It's okay.
That's cool.
Okay, that's okay.
My bad.
It's all good.
This was the second time I've crossed it. I moved here 3 years ago
Yeah.
from the East Coast. And this is the second time that I just threw my joint out the window. And I was thinking, like, I don't know if they care.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I'm just like,
You can
they
never
tell you a
be too
mile
safe.
ahead. And
Yeah,
I was
don't
like,
know.
fuck.
Yeah,
I
no,
brought
we've,
this for Arizona. And then I was like, I don't want to go to Arizona jail. Like,
Yeah, no,
I don't
you
know.
don't want to go to Arizona jail.
It feels
I don't want to go to any
Any
jail,
jail,
dude.
yeah, no.
I don't want to go to. I don't
don't know
know.
about
Like we
that.
last time we were here, which was like a month ago, with a band called Graduating Life. We did hit one of those checkpoints, and they literally just like stopped us, and we're just like, okay. They just like said stop, and then just like let us go, and just like looked into the van and saw that there was like, I guess, just a normal looking person driving.
yeah.
And
I barely even slowed. In hindsight, I didn't have to do anything.
no, exactly.
I was
You
still going 15
you just
miles
get
per hour.
Paranoid as heck.
Well, yeah,
You just get super scared.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, we're definitely worried about that as we travel, and we're trying to get rid of our incriminating evidence before we get to places like
I mean,
Texas and
even if like
Missouri and
even if you're
whatnot.
all good and you're just going through the security checkpoint at the airport and you start getting your palms sweaty as you're going through,
Yeah,
the
dude.
metal detector's gonna beep. You know, you're gonna have to do some
Yeah,
cavity.
dude. I mean, one time I had
all
like that
bad.
happened to me. I'd like done an edible right before I got on a plane, going through security, and I was really, really paranoid and scared. And I was like, they like swabbed my hands for bombs, right? They like swab your hand for plastic explosives.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you looking for? And she was like, you're good. Don't worry about it. And I was
Did
like,
you have anything on you?
no, I had nothing,
Yeah.
but I had
That's
I
funny.
had I'd held it in my hands, and I was like worried that they're gonna be like, "Have you touched drugs in the last 24 hours, sir?" And I was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
I was scared. I don't know.
I went back to Virginia for Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
and I had these Sour Patch weed gummies.
Yeah.
And I was so worried about flying.
So
I got
scared.
real Sour Patch Kids, made the smallest cut, dumped them all out, replaced them with real Sour Patch, or the weeds,
Yeah.
and then put the real like sugar powder on. I was like, nobody will ever know.
Dude, that's pretty smart. I'm not
And
gonna lie. That's a high level of
Yeah.
commitment.
But I'm saying they
Respect.
They don't give a fuck.
Like they don't give a
Yeah.
shit is the thing. Is I don't know. I think it's in my experience, it's more about. I think, like I said before, like people tend to make assumptions based on what you look like and what you seem to be doing. And I think that if you seem like a chill person and you don't look like you're making any trouble, or you don't look like the kind of person who's going to cause any trouble, no one really cares. And as long as you're
Yeah.
not like bothering people or like interfering with their day, I think people are, for the most part, at least where we're from, like people are pretty live and let live and don't really try and mess with you. But
Yeah, and in California, I think even if what do they do if you have weed in your bag?
dude, it's
Going to the
legal,
airport?
bruh. Prop 64, dog.
Top 60.
But in the
Prop
airport?
64.
Nintendo
I don't know how that works in the airport
They
now.
probably don't give a fuck.
So the way that
better
I
safe
mean,
than sorry, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like TSA is a federal organization, not a state organization. So
Yeah.
technically, you like can't do that. But I also have friends that like have flown to Florida with like weed in their backpack and just like don't care, and just like have never had any issues. Like this kid, just like my friend, just like flies all the time and just
Yeah.
like brings stuff with him, and it just never has any issues.
Definitely better safe than sorry.
Yeah,
though.
exactly. It's like that is great and it works awesome until it doesn't.
Yeah.
Or it's like you're screwed.
You got how long is this tour?
27 days.
Yeah, it's
so
like you don't
about
want
a
to
month.
fuck that up right your first day, and it's like
Yeah,
oh,
no,
nope.
exactly. It's like we have 3 weeks of tour left and we have to call mom to bail us out of jail. Like, no thanks. I really don't want to do that.
Let's not put ourselves in that situation.
Let's not put ourselves
That's
in
a good
that
story,
situation.
though.
I
It,
agree.
would be. It would be.
That would be
That'd
it would be a good story if it didn't end badly.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I
We
mean?
could
If it
still
was like,
continue
oh
to
yeah, this
tour
is funny and it'll, but no, I don't feel like that would happen. I don't know.
I prefer things going well.
Yes.
And then talking about that rather than having like
Yeah,
a bad
I would
time
rather
and, like,
I
a
would
good
rather
story.
have no stories than have a bunch of really messed up, scary stories from tour.
Want to get into how the band started?
Yeah, sure.
What were you guys doing before? All I know, I guess I'll just give
Yeah.
my disclaimer. Like, all I know is the full length. I love it.
Mhm.
It's great. That's what I really wanted to talk
Oh,
to you
great.
guys.
Thank
But
you.
I don't know. Like, I didn't know what you looked like, or I didn't know your story or anything. So
Yeah, no. It kind of started in college. Like Gabe, Austin, and I all. Gabe already graduated, but Austin and I are still students at UC Berkeley right now.
How long ago?
This was our freshman year, so
3
Austin
years
and I
ago?
are seniors now. So 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we lived on the
Um,
same floor actually in the dorms. And
Yeah.
that's
What school do you guys go to?
Cal, UC Berkeley.
Okay.
Yeah, UC Berkeley, and it was really funny actually. We were hanging out, and I was like hanging out with Austin's roommate for the most part. We were like drinking beer and like playing 2K and hanging out, and Austin was like playing around on his computer and listening to music, and he was listening to a band called Sports from Boston.
Sure, yeah.
Who we're touring with.
Oh,
Like-
awesome.
Like we're touring with them when we get to Boston. At the time, I only knew of them because a good friend of mine, like from high school, was helping them book shows and was like doing PR stuff for them. And so I'd heard about them and I thought they were just like the sickest band. And I saw it in like Austin's iTunes, and like I saw that he was listening to Sports, and I was like, how the fuck do you know about this band? Like, let me look at your iTunes library. And then he had like bands like Joyce Manor and like
Transit,
Fireworks and
yeah.
Transit, and I was like, okay, this kid actually like listens to the kind of music that I like to listen to. And then we just became friends
Yeah.
and started hanging out. And after a while, we were both really musical in high school, and like we're in bands and just like did stuff like that. And we're feeling like we wanted to start something new where we were, because there's really no music scene at all in
Yeah.
Berkeley.
I feel
Really?
like the second like we figured out we had the same like music taste, it was kind of natural after that.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
especially
pretty-
back then, I mean, I guess back then, and 3 years ago, it's not that long ago, but how trends work, they happen quick.
Yeah, exactly.
And even just 3 years ago, it was a slightly different scene than it is
Yeah,
now.
and I mean, like
it's only been like trending up and
like my
up
favorite
and
band at the
up.
time was like Modern Baseball. Like I loved that band, and like no one knew who that was. Like they had just done their first U.S. tour, and
Yeah.
like they had just played like Gilman in
They weren't like
Berkeley.
huge
No,
like they are
and
now.
they weren't like, that was right before they popped off and started to get really big. And so, and like a lot of bands like Tiger's Jaw, like Joyce Manor, before they started to gain like really like, I guess like mainstream like kind of popularity, and it was mostly people that like were involved in DIY music that were like really into those bands. And so it was really sick for me to like find someone else who was really into that stuff. And like we're best friends now, like we live together, and it's like, it just was really crazy and natural how quickly everything happened. We had the same interests, and it was just like, we need to start a band. And I remember there was one day where we were just like getting drunk in Austin's room, and I was like, dude, you know, it'd be a really funny name for a band. And he's like, what? And I was like, Mom Jeans. And he's like, huh. And now we're in a band.
Laugh,
yeah, and then we like recorded an acoustic EP. And
Where were you
we're
guys
happy with
playing there? Just like
we
acoustic
weren't
guitar
playing
in the
at all.
dorm?
Yeah, we just played
Literally,
acoustic
yeah.
guitar in
Okay.
the dorm. We had like a MIDI keyboard with like bells.
Annoying our neighbors.
Oh my god, our neighbors hated us so much because we would record like gang vocals, right? But there's only two of us, and so we'd
Literally
just
just
be
yelling at the top of our
at
lungs.
like 11 p.m. during like finals week. We'd just be like screaming, like trying to record this stuff before we had to go home for the summer, and it's like really funny.
And there's not a scene up there?
It's weird. Like the Bay Area is really cool in some places. Like San Jose is fucking amazing in my opinion. Like we've had amazing luck in places like, you know, San Mateo, and like in the East Bay there's a lot of really, really awesome like individual people that take on a lot of responsibility for booking bands. But like personally, we've had a lot of difficulty like trying to play like actual venues in places like San Francisco and Oakland, because I feel like there's just so much going on.
Is it
all the
older, too?
time. I think it is older too. Like there's no really like DIY spaces at all. Like the only DIY space that I can think of in like the area is Gilman, which is still difficult to get to. Like
Sure.
if you're a student, like it's far away from the campus. It's like not really close to anything. And then there's a spot that we play at a lot in SF called the Honey Hive, which is the same deal. It's impossible to get to like on public transit. So people like, even if they want to go to the show, they just can't reasonably get there.
Yeah.
And so it's like hard to manage, you know, like, do we really want to drive all the way out there and try and play, or just like not bother? So we've had to do like house shows, and we just like would throw shows at like co-ops or like frats and just like play there, because it was way easier and people would actually come
Yeah.
and would actually show up. And I would much rather do that, especially if there's like a band that's on tour and needs a show. Like I want them to have a good show. I want them
People to
be
show
able
up.
to get paid. Yeah, I want
Yeah.
them to be able to sell their merch. I don't want it to be like, okay, we got you a show. No, I want it to be like, we got you a great show. And
Yeah, it's so
people want to come back.
it's so weird. Like, I grew up in the suburbs and just fucking hating it. An hour outside of DC, thinking DC that's.
I wish I was just in DC. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
that's the
fucking hate
coolest
San
thing.
Francisco, dude. Fuck SF.
But no.
Low-key.
The thing is, in hindsight, I realized like there was so much cooler stuff happening in the suburbs.
Absolutely, yeah.
Even though it was lame and nothing was there, but that's where all like the young kids
Absolutely,
lived.
because
So,
those
like,
are where the people that are like, they realize that if they want something to change, that if they want music to be in their town, if they want bands to come, all they have to do is make it happen themselves.
Sure.
All you have to do is clear out your mom's basement and like make it happen. Like the best show, in my opinion, that we had on like the last tour that we did was in a place called Caldwell, Idaho, and it's like 45 minutes outside of Boise. When like Boise's already the middle of nowhere. Like it was really crazy, and there's just like a basement show, and a bunch of people showed up and like hung out, and it was really, really cool. And I was like, you know, like, why do you come? Like, we're in the middle of nowhere, and they're like, there's nothing else to do but go to shows and
Sure.
to hang out with people. And like it's this spot called Android House, and like a bunch of people that we know have ended up going there and having great shows because of it.
yeah, it's really weird. Like how you define like success or making it, and how like it changes, and now it's already so different. Like, I'm a few years older than you guys even, and it's like so radically different. Just one class behind mine is that idea has changed a lot.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think it's just the bottom, especially with all the stuff that's going on, you know, all the fucked up shit with DIY spaces getting closed down, and, you know, there being really a general lack of, you know, there's not a lack of talent, there's not a lack of drive, there's not a lack of people who want to play music, there's just a lack of places to have it. And I think people are realizing now that they have a sense of responsibility for their town and for their scene, and are saying, you know, like, no, like, it's on us now, we have to make it better. And that realization has come across, I think, for a lot of people in the last couple of years. And I think that's why, like, in my opinion, like, DIY music is really, really strong right now, and it's like such a really cool thing to be a part of.
Yeah, the only I'm thinking like now, like the downside, it's like without the like more like quote unquote like legitimate spots, it's hard to like reach a slightly bigger audience. And now like I worry in 5-10 years there's even less spaces, and it's like more stuff just on the internet, and it's like less and less people meeting in real space.
Yeah,
and
that's
just, like,
true.
more
I feel that.
You know?
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Like, some of my favorite bands are bands that I've never met, and I'm probably never going to meet, and, you know, just, like, geographically, it's so hard. But I don't know, I think that's a downside, but it's also an upside, you know?
Yeah, more people get to listen to it.
Yeah, exactly, and I think...
There's like 100,000 views of your full length on YouTube.
Almost.
And that's just...
Yeah.
That's just the YouTube.
Yeah, shouts out to Reddit.
So many fucking...
Shouts out to Reddit, dog.
That's so many fucking...
Thank you, Reddit. Our emo.
My coworkers saw the
appreciate
Reddit
it.
post, and they're like giving me shout outs. Like, hey, promote me, please.
Yeah, no, it's been
just
pretty
crazy
funny.
that you can be like that popular in one little sect of people, but then there's not... I don't know. It seems
maybe
like
that's also just like the internet age that we live in now.
Totally.
Like, people are like really into memes and into their little, you know, like blogs and their like the deep dark corners of their internet history that, you know, that's where they really feel like they find a community and they find people. And it's cool that you can also find those small communities, and they're small and they're tight, but like geographically people are spread out all over the place.
Totally.
And you can get in touch. Like, we've probably booked half the tour from Reddit. Like, just people that hit us up and we're like, yeah, you should come to my town, like, let me book you a show. And it was like, all right, yeah. And you kind of just have to be open and say yes and be willing to like get in the car and go. And if you are, people really open themselves out. And like, one of my favorite things I think about this is like doing that and like meeting a promoter or meeting someone who books the show over Facebook or through the internet or over email. And, you know, similar to us, like, we had an email conversation and we talked, and then you finally get to put a face to the person that you've been talking to the last month, or that you've been talking to, you know, for a while.
And
that's
you're like, is it going to be weird? Is this
and
gonna
you
be
never
sketchy?
know.
And then it's like, oh no,
and
it's
then
just normal.
like 10 times out of 10 they're awesome people.
Yeah.
And you just like make a new friend. And
Well,
it's
don't
just
say
like-
that.
Yeah.
Now, like, jump cut to 2 days.
Jump
now
cut to
when,
2
like,
days from now, we have
you
a
guys are tied
terrible
up
show.
in like a basement dungeon somewhere.
Yeah, but it's really cool to kind of like, you know, you get to know people's like social media presence before you get to know them, and then you get to like meet them in person. And I think it's really fun because, I don't know, I feel close to these people already, and I think because of our music, or just because we reach out or whatever, people feel like they kind of know us in a sense, and through that we can kind of feel like we know them, and it's like we've been friends for a long time, even though we've only actually hung out like once or twice ever.
Well, you put a super positive spin on it then. Like, I don't know, I just get so worried about internet stuff and communities that used to exist in real life moving to the internet. I mean, you're totally right that they translate, but I don't know. I can easily get to a pessimistic place.
I feel that. I think for us, it's just kind of like, we don't really have any other choice. Like,
no, I mean,
and we're like,
world is
all
trending.
three of us are
towards that.
definitely, we're definitely like, let's go on the internet and look at memes kind of guys.
Sure,
so it works out well.
But I agree with you on like some of the downsides, in the sense that through text communication, you lose so many of the tone of voice and the body language that in reality, you know, according to like some studies that I'm not going to cite, you you actually communicate like 80% is through body language and tone of voice, and only 20% is the words that, you know, through the internet, it's only the words that get captured. So I see that as one of the major drawbacks of kind of communities moving online rather than locally and in person.
Let's talk about the full length.
Sure.
It's your first release, really? Right?
It's kind of. It's our first like real release that we really spent a long time on, and like really worked on the songs for a long time, and like we actually recorded it with a person instead of just recording it ourselves.
Yeah, you can totally tell. It's great, and the production is awesome. And,
the guy that I'm going to shout him out right now, Ryan Ellery. Hit him up. He's the
Ryan
greatest
Ellery.
dude in the
Thank you,
entire
Ryan.
world.
Thank you.
Like, he's the sweetest guy in
he's
the
so-
entire world, and he's
so
like
nice to work with.
he's one of the coolest people to work with. Like, he lets, I feel like, the character of like the bands that he works with like really shine through, and he really makes an effort to like kind of capture just what's there, and he doesn't like put himself into the recording or put himself into the mix like a lot of producers will.
What happened? Oh, so we were like in a dorm on an acoustic guitar, and then you're like with a producer in the studio? Like, what is in between those
2 years was in between that. First of all,
2 years, a lot of shows, a lot of demos,
a lot of demos,
a lot of scrapped stuff,
a lot of scrap stuff, a lot of stuff that we would record and put up and then just take down because we weren't happy with it and stuff like that. And I don't know. I think for us it was, we knew we could start a band and that we wanted to be in a band before we knew what kind of band we wanted to be and before we knew what we really wanted to sound like. It was honestly, it was just, like reproductions of stuff that you've heard already. You start off playing like covers of like Jawbreaker and Joyce Manor and Tiger's Jaw, and then you move on to deciding, this is the kind of writing style I want to have. These are the tones that I like hearing when I hear guitars. These are the riffs that I like.
Are these songs like some of the original songs that you guys had, even a few years ago?
No.
some of them.
Yeah, I guess.
I would say so. Like Girl Scout cookies, for example, is
Girl
one
Scout
that's been
Cookies
around
is
for a really long
one,
time.
yeah. Movember's we've been playing
Movember's
for a
very
long
old
time.
as
yeah,
well.
we put out that we put out a single for that one. What was it? 2 summers ago. 2 summers ago. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like with the record, we really got to take like the time that we wanted. Because for us, we're just like, the number one thing is just making sure that we're happy with it and that it sounds like what we want it to sound like. And I feel like if you're true to yourself and you're happy with it, people will be able to tell that you're happy with it and they'll like it in turn, hopefully.
Yeah. And something I always think about and talk to bands about is like just taking your songs, especially when you've had them for a long time, and then going into the studio and hearing them back. It's such a bummer when it's like not what you were expecting to hear.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have so much experience with that, not with the good side, but just like, wait, this isn't what I was hearing. And it's like hard to understand what isn't right about this. It's like, what's not happening.
That part of it was like pretty constructive for me, at least as a drummer, because I had a couple moments like that with recording at least the demos and probably a couple moments in the studio where I wasn't satisfied as much as I had felt before hearing it in the monitors, and changing parts like from that kind of, I feel like, led me to be more proud of like the final product. I think it was
like you have to scrutinize yourself way more.
Exactly.
Things that you could like kind of get by without people noticing. You're like, oh yeah, that's really not as good as
because you don't want to do that. Like, I mean, if you don't fuck with the stuff that you've made, how can you expect other people to respond to it and to feel that it's genuine and to feel like you put yourself into it?
Yeah.
Like, I've definitely known people who have released music that they themselves aren't into, and it's like, why would you do that?
Yeah,
like,
it's hard also, like, I mean, because I've been doing these every week, and then sometimes I'll listen back much later just to try to reference it, and you're like, oh fuck, I sound like such an idiot. And
it's all growing pains.
Well, that's
we're all always learning, right? Nobody has any idea what the fuck they're doing.
Like, sometimes you have to get things perfect, but I feel like sometimes you have to just like keep cranking things out and moving forward and cranking things out. The kind of person that is trying to craft something forever and never releases it, like, that's kind of not too helpful either.
No, yeah, I think there has to be, if anything, there has to be a balance.
Yeah.
And luckily, I feel like that's what people have responded to with this band, is we try and, be genuine and be real about the things that we're saying. Like, we're not lying, we're not being dishonest or disingenuous, but we also try not to take ourselves too seriously, because there's a lot of people who they spend so much time, I think, going over every little detail and thinking so heavily about how they're going to be received by other people that it turns into being like a new band again, where you just turn into a reproduction of things that you see, and you're not doing things because you want to, you're doing them because you think that's what you're supposed to do. Totally. You're not going to get anywhere doing that, or at least in my opinion, you're not going to.
No, that's really smart, especially with like this. I hate using the E word, I'm not going to, but with like the scene, like this scene in particular getting trendier and trendier. I don't know. What draws me to music and this scene in particular is like just what you said, like people kind of being genuine. It becomes like a template, and then people are like, oh, this is how that person was genuine. I'm going to say the exact same thing. And then it's this really perverse thing where somebody is like being confessional, but in a really
lame and non-confessional
way.
way.
Super fake.
Yeah.
And it's just
It's
as cookie
off-putting.
cutter as Bruno Mars or something. Like
Yeah.
there's just as much vulnerability.
Exactly, and I think it comes down to you really have to be reflexive as a musician and be like, again, like, am I feeling this? Like, when I say these words, do I feel vulnerable or not?
Yeah.
Like, and I think my favorite thing is, like, I love solo sets a lot, like just a person playing guitar by themselves, because I think that there's a lot of like little moments in like songs or in sets or whatever where you'll almost feel like you're seeing something that you're like not quite supposed to see, or like you're, you know, like you feel like you're almost eavesdropping on someone, like writing in their diary or writing in their journal. And I really like that feeling, because I want, you know, the idea at least behind the music and why we wanted to be in a band is like, I have things personally that like I just can't say in my daily life like comfortably, like, and I'm a pretty straightforward, like, honest person, like I don't bullshit a lot, like, but you know, there's some things that when it comes down to it, either if it's, you know, the person that you want to say it to or like the words themselves, it's just like you just can't get it out sometimes, and you're just not comfortable doing it in a conversational setting.
Yeah.
So something about having drums behind it and guitar behind it makes it a little bit easier to just like say fuck it and get it out.
Makes it more groovy.
So
Yeah.
so you'd say like the songs are all pretty straight autobiographical?
I don't know if like autobiographical is like the right term, but like everything is definitely something that I've felt or something that I've experienced before.
But when you're if like the lyric is I, me,
Yeah.
do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
I,
I'm feeling
me.
myself, and
Yeah.
if there's, you know, if I'm saying you, like I definitely have a person in mind that I'm thinking of when I say that. And it's not always the same person, and it's not always the same thing. One thing that I think is really funny is that a lot of people have said that Best Buds sounds like a breakup album, like, you know, like an end of a relationship album, and like I guess they're kind of right, but like it's not really a breakup album. Like I didn't break up with my girlfriend and like write a bunch of sad songs because I was depressed. I think I was just like really dissatisfied with the way a lot of my relationships in life were going, not just like romantically, but, you know, like with your family, with your friends, with people that you have to interact with that you don't have a choice about. And I think a lot of those feelings are really similar. When you lose a close friend, you feel a lot of the same feelings that you do, you know, when you lose a romantic partner, or when you're feeling, you know, alienated from your family, you feel a lot of the same feelings that you feel if you have like, you know, loneliness in your love life or whatever.
Sure.
And I think that one of the things that I really tried to do personally was that I think people have to decide what it's about for themselves. And like one of my favorite things is like hearing people tell me what they think it's about, and like they're totally wrong. But
Based on what you were thinking.
yeah, but it's meaningful to them because
Totally,
of
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that song makes them think of that, and that's why they love it. And like that's tight for me because I had the same experiences. I would listen to bands and be like, oh, this guy is so sad and talking about this stuff, or this person, you know, I know exactly what they're feeling. And then you read an interview and you find out what the song's actually about.
It's like, that was about my cat.
Yeah, it's about my cat. Or it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is about me going to like the store and buying groceries. Like, and you're just like, what? This song changed my life, and it's like so inconsequential to you. And I don't know, I think that's really cool. And I think that's one of the cool things about this scene is like people really get to decide for themselves what the meaning behind things are. And that's what makes it special, is because you feel like you have that personal connection.
Have
with
you got
something.
blowback from people in your life that the songs might be about?
No,
or they
luckily
think
not.
that it's about, even with
Not
more
yet.
and more people hearing it?
Not yet.
Is that something now? Like,
I don't know.
so maybe when you wrote the songs, you didn't expect as many people to hear them.
No,
as
absolutely
they did?
not. We had absolutely zero expectations.
What about the
literally.
next batch, though? Do you think that's going to affect how you?
No, not at all. I think we honestly, at the end of the day, I don't expect anybody to listen to us for any reason. Like, we do this because it's fun and because.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it changed. When you know somebody's going to hear it, it's a little bit scarier or something.
Yeah, I think the only thing that like I was actually worried about was like my parents hearing like all the weed references in the songs. But like my parents don't care. Like, I love my parents and they love me, so it's all good. And they think it's funny. Like, they think it's hilarious, and that's another thing, you know, like weed is a huge part of my life. So how can I like write songs about my life and not have it include that? Because
Yeah.
you know, and I don't know, I think That's the only like thing I can really think of. But I've never been like afraid that like my girlfriend's gonna hear a song and think that I'm like talking shit about her or something like that, or be afraid that like my mom's gonna hear something and be bummed. So that hasn't been an issue yet. Maybe it will be. But yeah, I don't ever really think about like who's gonna listen to it, because I don't honestly expect anybody outside of like our close circle of friends to ever listen to anything that we make.
And the best stuff kind of, I think, sounds like that.
Yeah, I think so.
I love inside jokes and like stuff like that, because even if you don't get it,
Nice.
you still get the feeling where you're like, oh no, this is like meaningful.
I just
don't
don't know how.
understand it,
I don't know how it's
yeah,
meaningful, but this is
totally.
meaningful to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's really cool. Yeah, I agree.
Many of our song titles and other things have started out as just a dumb joke
Stupid
that
joke.
somebody laughed at a little bit too long, and we're like, all right, we're going to make that into something.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. The lamest entertainment or art or anything is like, it's so expository and it explains every little, I don't know, like an X-Men movie where like every single plot point
detail
is
is
like
worked out.
Yeah, I'm doing this because I feel this way because you did, you know, like
Yeah,
everything
and,
is just
dude,
so,
life doesn't work that way. Like that's not how like dumb shit happens for no reason.
Yeah.
And like
and
if you
people are
do-
smarter
yeah.
than that. They don't need to
Absolutely,
be told.
no.
Like I get it. I don't know the jokes, but I get that they're jokes, and it's almost funny to me even without getting it, because I don't know. People get a lot more than people expect them to.
people in general are a lot smarter than people give them credit for, I think.
On the topic of jokes, I have a few new jokes.
Gabe tells jokes at every single show.
Okay, this is an
You're gonna
intermission.
hear probably a
Podcast
couple of
intermission.
these tonight at the show.
Yeah, these are some new
But,
ones I'm testing out. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom? Because the P is silent. Ba-dum-ps. I've just been diagnosed as colorblind. I know, it kind of came out of the purple for me.
Fuck you,
Pow.
I used to really hate facial hair. I think it's grown on me.
I haven't heard that one yet. That
was
one's
me
good.
slapping my knee.
That was funny. Bow.
There you go.
Bow.
Curtsy.
All right, that's Gabe's talk.
That's my little intermission. We do that between songs.
I'm going to take that
Yeah.
mic now.
You're gonna do you're gonna do like a stand-up set tonight.
No, because I am a terrible guitar player, and I have to tune my guitar after every single song. And after a while, people get tired of just standing there while I tune my guitar. So
Totally.
Gabe keeps their attention and keeps them. I don't know. Yeah, keeps
Sooner or
them
later-
from being like, oh, maybe I should just go outside and smoke a cigarette instead of listening to the rest of this band.
Is the whole set in the same tuning?
No, I use like standard tuning all the time, but I use a capo for a lot of stuff,
Okay.
and like both of my guitars are from,
Everything's
like,
in standard?
yeah, everything's in standard.
Shout out
Except for
standard,
one
that's tight.
song which is like drop D on the E string, but everything else is standard tuning. Yeah, and like I think both of my guitars are like from the 80s, so they're old and they don't like to stay in tune. And like you change a capo position, and like you have to retune your guitar.
Sure.
Like it's. And I also never change my strings because I'm lazy, and so it's just like I just always have to tune all the time. So, Gabe tells a lot of jokes while I'm tuning.
What's up with the tour? Today's day 2? You just left, right?
Yeah, last night was the first show. Today's the second show. And then, we're driving to New York City and back.
You're
It's a
gonna-
4-week tour.
Yep.
You were playing shows all the way back too, right?
Yeah, playing shows the entire way. We only have 3.
South there and then north.
Yeah, we're
back.
going south, so we're going across Texas and then up to Missouri and then to the East Coast. We only have 2 days that we don't have shows. We don't have a show on the 23rd, and we don't have a show on Christmas Day.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. What is it gonna be trippy, like being gone during the
Oh, my
holidays?
mom
like
is
this?
so mad at me, dude.
Come to
Oh
think of
my
it, it's going to be
gosh.
kind of odd.
I mean, I think it'll be fun because, like, in a way, like these dudes are my family, and like that's. Oh, I love you guys. No, I mean, like, if I couldn't
Love
be
you
with my
too.
family on Christmas, like these are the people that I'd want to be with, and I think our families are kind of bummed, but they also recognize that for us, this was the really like we really didn't want to wait until summer to do a full US tour because, like, luckily, like some people are listening to the record and people are asking us to come and play.
Totally, yeah.
And I don't know how long that's going to last. I don't know how long people are going to care about us for. And so I want to play as many shows as I can while it happens. And, you know, like, again, we don't expect anybody to be into what we do. I don't think that anybody owes us anything. You know, like just because you make a record, it doesn't mean that like you're entitled to listens. It doesn't mean that people are, you know, indebted to you to make sure that the record becomes big or that a lot of people listen to it. And we're just
How
trying
do you
to
think so
ride
many
the
people
wave.
found it so soon?
Reddit.
Reddit. Yeah.
That's so awesome. I don't get
Luck also.
Like
Also, we just, you know, like the scene is small and word gets around pretty fast, and I think that
and it's good. Also, I mean, if you put something good in the world, like people.
well, I guess
really.
I'm stoked that people think that it's good. We tried really hard to, you know, we're totally satisfied with the record. I'm totally satisfied with the record. But then again, you know, so many things are just a matter of taste, and you don't know how it's going to be received until someone actually listens to it.
Basically, I mean, we put the record out, and one day somebody just posted, and
That's so
all of a
sweet.
sudden, the
Yeah,
ball
there's
started
this like
rolling, I
music
guess.
channel on YouTube, K&M Music, that like uploaded a full stream of the record onto YouTube, and just a ton of people have listened to it. You know, we have a Bandcamp page, and like
totally.
a ton of people have downloaded the record from that.
Isn't it so scary, like just putting something out into the abyss and you just have no idea?
It is. It is
Even
pretty
right now,
scary.
it's like I don't know who is listening to this right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's
what they're
pretty
gonna do with
weird.
it and what they're gonna say about it. And
It's
like, it
pretty
doesn't
weird.
really matter, but it's also just so fucking weird.
My favorite is the haters. I love the haters. That's my favorite part. Is like when like someone will go on YouTube and be like, "This band fucking sucks. I hate this band," and like I like every comment. Like on my favorite is like, "You guys fucking suck. I hate you."
Why are people so? I think most people are just trolling, right, on YouTube.
Probably. I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, people are entitled to hate it if they want to.
People are
It's
entitled
cool.
to their opinion. Again, it's like it's a
It
matter of
entertains me
taste.
a lot. To
But
be
like, I
honest.
can be on the most obscure fucking punk record on YouTube that has like 500 views. Everybody that is listening to it, they must like it on some level. Like the people that are like, "What is?" I don't know. They're fucking trolling. I think a lot.
I think, or they're not like maybe specifically looking for the intent to troll, but maybe they just had like a bad day and, you know, just got like laid off of work for something out of their control, and they need like some way to like vent, or, you know, the feeling that someone
You
else
can take it out on us.
Yeah,
Everybody,
yeah.
feel
So-
free to take it out on us.
But
It's
why
like a-
YouTube? Like most thing, is everything that?
I think people
I'm on
want
the
to
internet, but I
know.
don't see that
I think
much
people
shit.
want to know that other people feel as shitty as they're feeling. Then it's that feeling that like other people are feeling these emotions as well.
Yeah, that's
And
literally
it's-
the point of the record is like, oh, hey, these guys feel like pieces of shit too.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one that wakes up and just like wants to die immediately.
an ode to sadness and shittiness.
Yeah, and just like, I don't know, crying is a part of life. Like being sad is a part of life. Like a lot of people deal with, you know, like depression and mental illness, and like I deal with that too. And it comes to a certain point where you learn that, you know, everything is just brain chemistry at the end of the day. And sometimes you just like wake up and like your happy chemicals in your head just like aren't there for whatever reason. And you have to like learn how to get through that, and you have to get through your day. And like records like the Modern Baseball record and records like, you know, the Joyce Manor self-titled, those are the records that got me through that. And so that's what I want to provide for someone, is just something where it's like, hey, like just, I hope this can like take your mind off shit for like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
And-
and that's where I can. That's why I'm doing this. Like,
Yeah,
this
hopefully,
is this.
exactly.
I was listening to stuff like this, losing my mind, and I was like, that.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
absolutely.
hoping to
like, I
do
think
for. I
we
don't
were
know.
on we were on tour when like
Yeah.
Donald Trump got elected, and like we didn't know what to do with ourselves. Like we were all pretty scared, and everybody was feeling that way. You know, where we were going, and it was just like, you know, obviously we all have a lot on our minds right now. So let's just like be here for the next hour and just like listen to some music and hang out with some friends and like not let that stuff get to us, and just try and, you know, take care of ourselves and recuperate. And I think using music as like kind of a vehicle to do that, and as a vehicle to de-stress and kind of like get your grounding again is pretty useful. Like that's what music does for me.
What's the plan for Christmas Day?
Oh, we're driving from St. Louis to Maryland.
Oh,
Maybe watch Rogue One if we.
Yeah, we want to see the new Star
so
Wars
like
movie.
you
bro.
planned it to be just like a super long drive.
Well, so what happened is we were, you know, December 23rd, December 24th, and December 25th are all really tough days.
Yeah,
I
even right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't
think
expect,
that's why I feel like there was like a Christmas themed thing going on at the coffee shop.
there was like the show last night that we played was like an ugly sweater, like Christmas party.
Okay.
And I think, you know, again, I don't expect people to come out to a show when they're supposed to be hanging out with their family, or when they're, you know, seeing the people that they don't get to see very often. And it was just like kind of, we had these 3 days, and we were just like, I think we went on like Twitter or something, and we're just like, yo, who wants to throw us a Christmas Eve show? Because I remember we were watching a documentary on like Touche, right? Was it Touche or La Dispute?
Touche.
Yeah, it was Touche Amore, and it was like talking about like one of their first tours where they played like a basement show on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
Like in the night of Thanksgiving, and it was like a huge show, and it was like really cool.
Oh,
and I
sick.
just thought that was the sickest thing ever to like play a show like on a holiday. And I don't know, we were just like, hey, how funny would it be if we got a show on Christmas Eve? And this awesome person hit us up over Twitter and was just like, if you come to St. Louis, I'll throw you a show on Christmas Eve. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. And so we're going. And he like got the show booked, and we're playing with Choir Vandals, which we're really, really, really excited about because that band is
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, stoked.
That
I
band,
think
like, we're both
most
really
people,
stoked.
they open presents and drink eggnog and then do nothing the rest of the day. I mean,
Yeah, exactly,
The
right?
nighttime's actually kind of perfect, I think. For a
Yeah,
show.
I know.
Yeah.
People are calling it like the show for kids whose families suck. So I'm down. I mean, if you want to come hang out with us, like, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's hang out.
That's gonna be a really weird Christmas. You need at least like the Peanuts soundtrack or something. To
That
put
would
on.
be sick. I really want to get a sample pedal just so I can like just play stuff. Dun, 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 dun. That'd be sick. I'd be
Get
into
somebody
it.
to play sleigh bells. Just like,
Get a miniature piano.
yeah.
We'll see if we can fit that in the van too. No, not gonna happen.
Do you have places to stay all planned out for the whole?
For the
whole
most
trip?
part, we have like a lot of friends along the way. At least like we've been to Phoenix before, so we like have friends in Phoenix that we're gonna stay with tonight. And I think along the way, you know, people just know that we're on tour and we need a place to crash.
Awesome.
And we've had a lot of great experiences just like playing house shows and just like sleeping on the floor, like where we played that night. And I don't know, I think if you put yourself out there and like similar to the music, like you make yourself vulnerable and like you just ask people to help you out. I think 9 times out of 10, everybody's a good person. Like they want to help you. They want to lend a helping hand when they can. And so if you just like take that first step and ask, which I think a lot of people have difficulty doing sometimes, you just
it's
ask
awkward.
for help.
Or sometimes you think people are gonna be busier than they are. I don't know. It's
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want anybody to feel like we expect them to do something for us. I don't want anybody to feel like they have to do it or that we really, you're our only option, bro. Like we're fucked if you don't help us. Like I don't want anybody to feel like a
I've
weight
been there
on their
before,
shoulders
though,
because
actually.
and that sucks because you really want to do the right thing for people. And I think like if you give people an opportunity to rise to the occasion and like you let people know that, and worst comes to worst, like you play the show and you're just like, hey, we need a place to crash tonight. By the way, this is our last song.
Are you playing in Philly?
We are playing in Philly. Yeah, we're
Wait,
playing
where
2
can people?
shows.
Where are all the dates? On
Oh
Facebook?
man, you want me to? We just
Like what, if somebody's listening right now.
if
how
somebody's
can they find
listening
the
and
date?
they want to find it, they can go on Facebook. We have like a Facebook event that has all the dates on it and most of the Facebook events. And then our
What
good
if they don't
friend-
have Facebook?
If you don't have Facebook, you can check out Get Alternative. There's an amazing like music website from the East Coast, and they like wrote a little thing when we announced that we were working with Counterintuitive, and we announced the tour at the same time, and so the tour flyer's up there and it has all the dates on it.
Awesome.
Or you can just like DM me on Twitter or Facebook, and I'll just
Do you guys
tell
have a Twitter or Instagram for the band? I was looking you up on Instagram. I couldn't find anything today. Did I do
No,
it
we
bad?
don't have an Instagram. We have a Twitter, but we don't have an Instagram. I hate social media, like personally. Like I don't even use my own Instagram.
You're talking to
So,
the right person. Yeah,
I don't know how I'm supposed to be on top of all that stuff. I don't know, because I think if you have an Instagram, people expect it to be active.
Can you
And
talk
people
about it,
expect-
or is this too hacky to talk about hating social media? What you said you hate it? Why?
I think it's just a pain in the ass. Like I think like Facebook's really lame because they make you pay for shit now,
Sure.
and like if you want people to see your stuff, you have to pay them $5.
Really?
And I think that's really dumb. Like
What do you mean?
like,
Wait, see, there's
So like if you have like a page on Facebook, like you're a band and you like release a record, and you can like pay like $5 or $6 per day, and they'll sponsor it. So like you see those sponsored ads when you're like rolling through your
Okay.
Facebook, someone's paid for that, and they paid money to Facebook, and so Facebook like jacks them up in the algorithm and makes them show up in a bunch of people's feed that they would normally never see. And it's like, normally in your feed you only see stuff that is people that that your friends are doing, or that pages that you like and pages that you follow, and they'll just put your stuff in if people have absolutely no connection to
I
you.
tried looking at yours today, and since I don't have one, like this pop-up that was like sign in. You know, it was like right in the middle of the page, and I had to like scroll around and like see.
Yeah, that's real. Facebook sucks, dude. I mean, it's all just a scam. Everything's a scam. Life is a scam.
Yeah, I don't want to turn it into like a hate thing. I'm interested in. It freaks me out too. So I'm always interested in what other people like.
Like anything else, I think it's just balance. I think that
It's good to get out to people.
Yeah,
though,
no.
right?
If you want people, I think there comes a point where you have to realize that even if you hate Facebook, there are a lot of people who don't. And even if you don't want to use Facebook, there's a ton of people who use it. And if you want people to find you, and
Still Facebook,
they want
really?
people to,
I thought only like old people use Facebook.
I use
now.
Facebook all the time.
I use
I don't
Facebook.
know.
or like Twitter. Like even if you hate it, the majority of people are on there, and the majority of people are in there. And like, I don't know if it means that some kid who has heard of your band and likes your band finds out about a show that they otherwise wouldn't have heard of. I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like one person.
Yeah, I was doing nothing, and then for this show, I got an Instagram, and I didn't know. I was like, should I get a? It was this like huge question.
Yeah,
for
we
me.
just got a Twitter like a couple months ago, and like I barely even do anything. Like Bart, who's not here, he plays bass when Gabe isn't around, and he plays guitar sometimes with us, like as a fourth person. He was running the Twitter page because he was like, "You need a Twitter," and I was like, "I don't want to do that," and he was like, "I'll do it." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah. Well, that's the funny thing.
And
too.
now Twitter is like super lit, and like everybody hits us up all the time, and it's like we booked a bunch of shows from tour through Twitter, and like have met people through Twitter and made a bunch of friends. So it's like it's kind of funny the way things work. I think if you are apprehensive about doing it, it usually works out for the better.
Or it just doesn't matter. That's
It just
what I
doesn't
trip
make
out
a
on too.
huge
Like you make a
difference.
big deal and you think like, oh, is this going to be dumb? And it's like, you do it. Nobody cares one way or the
It's
other.
a drop in the ocean.
Yeah.
It's a drop in the ocean.
But when
Nobody's
it's
gonna see
you put such a spotlight on yourself and you scrutinize yourself.
Well, yeah,
so
and now
much.
we've just gotten to the point where we don't take anything seriously, and just like Austin makes memes on Photoshop, and we just like put them out and like
really
send them to
fun.
people. It's like really fun for us. Like we'll just be bored and be like, "Hey, let's make a meme." And
Yeah, we've gone full circle from like being frustrated to hating to just being zen about it.
just
I
being
guess.
the guys that are just trying to troll all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. You got to do whatever you got to do to keep it fun and interesting for you, right?
Yeah.
As long
What's
as
up with new stuff? Is that too soon to
new stuff? No, we can talk about it. We have how many? Songs?
The record is coming out like physical.
Yes, we're
right?
getting
I just saw that.
records. Yeah, that's really really cool. We're working with this awesome record
Awesome.
label from the East Coast called Counterintuitive Records, and they found us through Reddit. And yeah, no,
That's so cool. I've always followed that Reddit.
Yeah,
And
shouts
whenever
out to
they're
our
on,
boy
I'll post
Jake
them.
Sulzer for hitting us up and
Thank
for
you,
doing all the
Jake.
work. Thank you, Jake. Like we love
you.
Yeah, he just like hit us up and was like, "I want to put out your record," and we were like, "Okay, let's do it." And the pre-orders are up, and get them now because they're going fast. Like I don't want to sound like an asshole.
No,
I think they
I know.
might actually sell out before they ship out, and I don't want anybody to be like, "I wanted one and I didn't get one. What the fuck?" So
No, that's why I ask you.
So hop
I
on
think,
it now because they might be gone in a little while.
Will they put out the next thing, or is that too far in the future to start?
We
planning?
don't know. We have a few releases scheduled. I think if we sell out of the first pressing, we're definitely going to do another pressing at Best Buds with Counterintuitive. Like we
Awesome.
definitely want to do that because Jake is awesome to work with, and like he's super talented, and the team of people that he's like kind of assembled, and like the people that he sends all of his stuff to, just like everything has been an awesome and easy process. Even like the test presses were super awesome. Like everything has gone super well, so I don't really see a reason why we wouldn't do that. But as far as releases upcoming go,
Like, have you been writing?
yeah,
you
we've
have
been
new
writing.
songs?
We have 3 new songs, and we're going to be re-recording the last track on the record, Vape Nation, because when we recorded it for the record, it was just me playing guitar and singing.
That's just an acoustic one?
Yeah, it's just an
Okay.
acoustic track.
I had
and-
some backup vocals in there.
Yeah, Gabe sang
Give a
too.
little
That's
shout out
true.
to myself.
Gabe sang, and we're doing we play that as a full band now because when
Awesome.
we play shows, and I like the way that it sounds, and it sounds different than the acoustic recording. Like do a different tempo. So we're gonna put that out as well as a new song, which is gonna be on a split with the band I mentioned earlier, Graduating Life, and that's Bart's band actually.
cool.
And I fucking love that band. I play guitar in that band. It's really, really fun. It's so sick. I love Bart's music. He's just like a super cool dude. And he's one of our best friends. So doing a split with him just makes sense. And that's going to be going on late, or not late, but early next year.
You've already recorded it?
We haven't
Oh, you gotta
recorded
get
them
the
yet, but the
studio.
songs are written. We're hitting the studio the second we get back. We get back on the 13th, and we're going and recording with Ryan again on the 15th. So it's like...
That'll be
Yeah.
good. You just had like 4 weeks
hopefully
of
we'll
rehearsal.
have had 4 weeks of rehearsal, exactly. And then we're putting out a song for a compilation album that Dutch Crunch DIY in San Jose is doing. They're putting together a comp to benefit a new DIY spot, a new all ages music venue in San
Oh,
Jose.
sweet.
So we're putting out a song that's going to help out with that. And then we're putting another song on another compilation album, which our friend Chris from Sports is making, and it's going to be benefiting Planned Parenthood, which we're really excited about because, I don't know, I feel like everybody kind of has a responsibility to help out in whatever way that they can. And if people have presented us with opportunities of things that we can do to help San Jose and help Planned Parenthood, so I want to do that. So
2017 is going to be super busy.
hell yeah, I'm really excited. Like, kind of the plan for us is at least is like get through the last semester of school that Austin and I have.
Who's still going to school?
Austin and I.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just wrapped up in May.
You're going to graduate?
Got that work
Yeah,
in
we're going to
life.
graduate in spring. Austin is going to graduate with a BS in statistics.
Yes.
Statistics. Yeah, and I'm a sociology major, and so we're going to get our degrees and then get the fuck out of there.
Pretty much.
Yeah, they can stop taking my parents' money.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to be done with school, and then yeah, we're just gonna try and see
music thing
how
for
much. Yeah, I literally just want to like how many shows can we play in 2017 is kind of what I want to do,
Awesome.
and like how many different cities can we go to.
Are you going to come to Southern California? I was bummed you weren't going to San Diego.
That's a plan. I think
It's
we're.
hard to play. Yeah.
It is. San
Yeah,
Diego
it
is.
It's fucking weird.
Is weird.
I've lived
Yeah.
there 3 years, and I still don't understand.
Yeah, no, a
what's
lot of
going
people
on
just
at
don't
all.
even bother. Yo, San Diego, if you're listening,
Hit us
make
up.
a good DIY venue and hit us up, and we'll come play. But yeah, we're definitely gonna be going to SoCal. We're planning. We're going to South by Southwest this year, and we're planning on touring back. What?
Technically next year.
Technically
Yeah.
next
Gabe's
year.
being
Close.
smarty pants.
This is going
Gabe's
to come
being
out on
fucking
Christmas
smarty
Eve,
pants.
so it'll almost be 2017.
Cool. All right, but yeah, so we're going to South by Southwest 2017, Gabe.
Yes, thank you.
And we're touring back, and we're gonna hit SoCal on the way back.
Awesome.
That's the plan, at least as of now.
Yep.
until a monkey wrench gets thrown in my plans,
Which inevitably
which it inevitably will.
Yeah.
Well, the
But
sun
we'll be
is
ready
like
for
about
it.
to go down. I
Yeah.
think that was good. Thanks for meeting me, you guys. That was.
Yeah, man,
Thank you so
absolutely.
much.
I
It was a
still think I
pleasure
might
to
have
meet
cut
you.
off the first 2 minutes when we introduced ourselves, but
Whatever. They don't need to know
it's
anything
okay.
about us.
It's okay.
Cool.
We'll keep it.
Yeah,
It's like so weird when people
have.
have full introductions. It's like everything is written. People know what they click on.
Yeah,
That's true.
You know who's gonna be.
I don't know. Google exists.
Yeah, for
People,
sure.
again, people are smart. They can figure it out.
Okay, later, guys.
Later.
Getting so tired of the inside of my bedroom. Force myself to go outside and get some light. Wear a t-shirt that's not black. Get myself into the shower. Stay inside there for an hour. Barely get back home on time. I'm just fine. I'm always double parked. My